Alright, Trucker Todd here. Time for another video. I've tried to do this video a couple of times and I keep having phone calls come in, so I haven't been able to shoot this video until now. In today's video, I want to talk about a tale of two companies. I'm going to obviously talk about Roadrunner Freight, but I'm also going to talk about Penske Truck Leasing. Let me explain for people that may not have seen any of the previous videos. Penske Truck Leasing, my tongue is not working. Penske Truck Leasing has become a necessity the last couple of weeks because my Roadrunner truck engine became dusted, which basically means it got dirt in the engine. Nobody really seems to know how or why, but when it gets in the cylinders, it eats on the rings of the pistons. And long story short, I need an engine. Now, earlier today, someone mentioned to me that a lot of times when this happens, it'll leave you stranded on the side of the road. Fortunately, I recognized excessive oil consumption, and I got it to the shop before I was left stranded somewhere. Now, they're saying it's going to cost about $40,000 to repair that engine. I obviously don't have $40,000. There's some things in the works. I kind of have a basic idea of what we're looking at and what's going to happen, but I don't have specifics yet, so we're going to save that for a later video. Speaking of that, everyone, make sure you're liked and subscribed. Click that bell notification so that when I do put out these future videos, you'll receive a notification. It's free to do and it only takes a second, so make sure you get that done. Also, after watching this video, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave me a comment below or you can email me. My email is always in the description. Feel free to do either one. I try to respond to all of them just as quickly as I can. Let's talk about Roadrunner, and I've covered Roadrunner pretty extensively. In this video, I'm specifically going to talk how they handled the Penske truck rental. So, my IC coordinator, again, this is for new people. I feel like I need to reiterate these things. I'm not going to mention names. I'll give titles, like for example, this one I'll refer to her as my IC coordinator. Did a great job of setting this up. I mentioned to her I'd never rented a truck before. She sent me everything I needed to be sent, give me all the details I needed to be given. When she said, we had discussed this on Friday, I'd planned on picking it up on Monday. She said Monday morning you'll receive an email. And sure enough, Monday morning about 9 a.m., I received that email she talked about. She couldn't have done a better job. And since I've been at Roadrunner, she's my second IC coordinator. Both of them have been outstanding. I've been really blessed there in that department. She really knows her stuff. Another guy that used to work here, he no longer works here. He also has a YouTube channel called Randy's Road Life. You may want to check his stuff out if you get a chance. He told me this girl knows her stuff, and he wasn't kidding. She, earlier today, somebody asked me to describe her, and I described her as like a conductor of an orchestra. She's really good. If I don't know who to call or what to do, or I need a specific report or something like that, she's real good at pointing me in the right direction, and she definitely knows her stuff. She is geographically challenged. She's in Seattle, and I wish she was in the Dallas area because I'd like to meet her. I like to put a face with the name. And I don't have chains, but after the chain law comes down, I'm sure I'll be in Seattle at some point and meet her. The other key deal in this truck rental was my fleet coordinator. And I don't know, a lot of people have asked me what I've thought about my fleet coordinator. And I'll say this, you know, he's the second one I had, and he has been great. We had a little bit of a rocky start in the beginning. We had a phone conversation where we were able to discuss everything, and since then, I'd have to give him really, really high marks. Somebody asked me today what it is about him that I think makes him so effective. I actually think it's two things. One of the things that I think makes him really effective is he's got a knowledge of the terminal, and we're able to book loads out 5, 6, 7 days. And so it allows me to plan and run and know where to buy fuel. Now, I realize he can't do that with every driver because you have to be really good knowing your logbook, knowing how to recap, to project 6 or 7 days out what loads you'll be able to do and things like that. But like I know he's mentioned today, we have to communicate several times a week, and because things will come up. When I was on my way up here to Chicago, I found out I was going to need to get to Dallas after that, and I told him what was going on, and he said, I texted him, I was like, let's strategize. So he called me maybe 10 minutes later. We put a plan in motion, and things are going smooth. So that's one of the main things he does very, very well is he and I are able to plan way out. And the second thing he does really well is he has a great knowledge of the terminals. And I mentioned this earlier today too. He can tell me really relevant information. This terminal only loads from this time to this time. This terminal only opens at this time. Good grief, I got the hiccups. This terminal only has 4 loads a day coming out of there. And so that kind of information makes me more efficient also, because I have the relevant information I need to be as efficient as I can be in each terminal. So the combination of those two things has at least doubled my settlements, maybe tripled them. I'm now making what the recruiters said I would make before I even hired on here. When I told them about how many miles I'd run, they said, this is about what you'll make. And if I work a 7-day period, that's pretty much what I hit. And so right now, and I'm sure you've seen it in the last 2 or 3 videos, I'm very, very, very happy with Roadrunner. Just as happy as a bug in a rug. Now, let's talk about the Penske side of this rental. So, I get to Penske. I want to say, I've been kind of waiting to do this video. I want to say my appointment was at 10 in the morning. I get there at 9. Now, one thing that was different than what I was expected is I was told I'd be able to pick out a truck when I got there. Or if I wasn't told that, it was my understanding. Let me say it that way. It was my understanding I'd be able to pick out a truck when I got there. When I got there, they said, oh, it's already reserved. But it wasn't ready yet. It didn't have a mattress in it. They were going to put a mattress in it. I specifically asked them at that point, does it have an ELD installed? Because Penske has their own ELD, and it has to be installed before you can take the truck out of there. Yeah, that's already been done. So we got the truck, did the inspection. It was kind of neat how they do it. They take a tablet out there, snap some pictures. It's a little bit of a shady practice because they're not real forthcoming in wanting you to see the pictures of the damage they take. I kind of like to see, and they didn't offer to show that to me, and didn't really want me to see that, and that's fine. That's a battle for another day. But anyway, so we did that. I pulled my car around there to load my stuff in the truck, and I was having a Monday. I locked my keys in my car. So then I spend the next little bit waiting for the locksmith to come unlock the car, because I'm in a loaner car. It's another long story. They come unlock my car. I put my stuff in the truck, and I had planned to park their truck there, take my car home, and then my uncle was going to bring me back to pick the truck up. So I put my stuff in the car, park the truck, take my car home, come back, get in the truck, and I can't get the ELD to connect. So I go in there and tell them, and they're thinking I did something wrong. They come out there and they can't get the ELD connect. And what I mean by that is it's an app you put on your cell phone, and it connects to the ELD, the electronic logging device, by Bluetooth. So they go, oh, maybe this truck doesn't have an ELD. And I said, I specifically asked you if it had an ELD. Now, fortunately, by now we're coming up on lunchtime. And fortunately, I didn't have a load to pick up right after lunch. The load that I had set up, I had a feeling this might happen, so I set something up for about 5 p.m. So I had a little bit of time. And so they have a mechanic come out. He looks, nope, there's no ELD. So he hooks it up, and he leaves because he wants to go to lunch. Well, I go to try to hook up to it, and it's still not hooking up. I go in there, and they say, well, everybody's gone to lunch. You'll have to wait. I said, all right. I wait about 30 minutes. He goes, okay, they're back. Just go out to the shop and tell them they need to close out the ticket, and then it'll work. Well, they close out the ticket. It still doesn't work. We ramble. Finally, I think it was around 2 or 3 o'clock, they finally got it working. Now, this started at 9 o'clock in the morning. So you're talking 5 or 6 hours. Some of it was my fault because I locked my keys in my car, but a lot of it was just not being prepared. Instead of selecting a truck, like I said, they already had one picked out. I don't think they had a whole lot there, and that may be the reason. The truck that they selected was weaker than, or rougher than, a week in jail. And what do I mean by that? I found not used condoms. I found unopened condoms in the truck. They weren't used. That's what I was trying to say. 2 of them in the little pull-out drawer. I found gloves. I found towels that all had appeared to be used under one of the shelving that's on the floor on the passenger side. It was pretty dirty. The truck seems to run okay. Not going to do a review on the truck yet because in an upcoming video very soon, I'm going to do a comparison between this 2018 Freightliner Cascadia. It's a flat top, kind of plain. I'm going to compare it to my 2015 International that just went kaput. And that's going to be a whole separate video. Again, another reason to make sure you're subscribed. So I guess I'm saying all of that to say this. You see where I come up with the title, A Tale of Two Companies, because Roadrunner would have been very comparable 4 months ago to how my Penske experience was. It was a rough start, but Roadrunner has improved immensely during that time. And it was a Monday. I could have caught Penske on a bad day. It could just be this Lubbock facility is not good. Maybe other Penske facilities are better. Maybe you've had a great experience with Penske. But I wasn't super impressed with Penske. And like I said, I've heard horror stories about Penske nitpicking a truck to death when you take it back. And this truck, although it only had 282,000 miles on it, I have literally driven trucks with 800,000 miles on them that were in a lot better condition. So this truck, there's no doubt it's had a hard life. It has some weird things about it, like on the back of the cab, the little post that sticks up that your airlines run through to keep them off the catwalk, it's spring loaded. It's way too close to the trailer. If you turn a corner very sharp, it'll touch it. It doesn't hurt it. It's spring loaded, so it bends over and then pops right back up. But it has a lot of little things like that. They should have moved that. I'm only going to be in this truck, well, less than a week more probably. So I'm just going to tough it out till then. But yeah, that's kind of my Penske rental experience. In the comments below or email me, tell me your Penske experience. Have you rented a truck from Penske before, and what did you think about them? And for you other guys, as you can see, things at Roadrunner has been going great. If you're curious about coming to work at Roadrunner, drop me a message down in the comments, or if you don't want to be heckled by other drivers, shoot me an email and let's talk. I'll answer your questions and we'll go from there. But I'm going to wrap this up. I got to get a few hours of sleep, and then I'm going to move very quickly, legally of course, but very efficiently and very quickly down to Dallas. And I'll stop along the way and we'll do another video. I'll probably do that side-by-side comparison. One more thing I want to touch on today. When I was in Chicago today, I got a chance to go by the Roadrunner headquarters and meet everyone, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of great people that work here that I sometimes talk on the phone or email, but it was nice to put a face with the name. And so yeah, that went great too. They gave me a model truck that Roadrunner truck. It's kind of neat. And matter of fact, let me show you real quick. All right, I'm back. I should have been more prepared. I don't know how well this is going to show, but a Roadrunner truck. I thought that was really nice of them. I was surprised, wasn't expecting that. And then the president of the company gave me a card with a nice little note inside. He wasn't able to be there today. From what I understand, he was really wanting to meet me. He had a business meeting out of town. I hope in a future visit to be able to meet him. But yeah, I thought that was real thoughtful. Got to spend a little time with my fleet coordinator and get to know him better. We ended up going to lunch together. I was there for a few hours, and a nice group of people. So sometimes in this line of work, you don't get to know people, and it was nice to get to know them, and we had a good visit. So thank you to Roadrunner for that. And I got to talk to them a little bit. They went in a conference room and we kind of discussed Roadrunner a little more in depth. Pretty much the same type stuff I talk about in these videos I shared with them. It was very productive to tell them my thoughts and opinions, and then hear their thoughts and opinions, and why things are the way they are. So enjoyed that. Want to say thanks to Roadrunner, and a shout out to everybody I met over there today. I really enjoyed that. I'm going to wrap this up because I got to get down to Dallas tonight. I need a few hours of sleep. But thanks to everybody for watching. We're going to catch you on the next one. Have a great night. Bye-bye.